Hi everyone, how's it going? I've just been done with drying some of my clothes. I'm kind of debating whether or not I should go out on Saturday because Saturday's got quite a few things happening. So I'm kind of debating that with myself at the moment. Um, I just wanted to get online and talk to you guys today about what's going on with me. Update on myself. Um, I've had quite a big spell of depression. I'm not going to lie to you. And the truth is that even though it's definitely not for lack of trying by the gang stalkers, my depression isn't actually down to the gang stalkers. It's just one of those things where all my past experiences and present experiences have basically accumulated. And I do have long bouts of depression being a targeted individual anyway. And, I think even if I wasn't a TI, I'd still have those long bouts of depression. But other than that, like emotionally, I'm actually okay. But I don't know. I feel like there's been some street theater and there has been some harassment. Like, for example, every time I do a tarot reading online, there's always someone talking outside, or like every single time I'm kind of outside, my neighbor does her very best to make sure that she's in my eye line and like I don't know, just saying silly stuff to try to get a rise out of me. This is the thing that I'm having trouble putting together. All right. So the first thing is, right, if gang stalking really doesn't exist, why does everybody have this smoke for me when I'm doing my tarot readings or when I'm doing something as simple as drying my clothes? Like, why does me doing laundry and me singing and me doing tarot readings live get this kind of reaction out of people where they start yelling at the top of their lungs for no reason? I get the same thing when I'm laughing as well. I get the same thing when I'm doing that. Anytime I'm doing something normal in my flat, there's always a problem. And yet, when my neighbors start arguing and calling each other names, nobody says anything. Nobody does anything. Nobody calls the police. Nobody does a goddamn thing about it. They've complained to the landlords once or twice, sure, but everybody's always got this smoke for me and my skin color and whatever it is that I've got going on. Everybody's got all this smoke for me, and nobody has any smoke for people that are actually causing problems. That's the first thing. The second thing is that whilst everybody is focusing on trying to upset me, I have been the one getting the bins cleared because the bins are overfilling. What's happening at the moment is that because Brighton and Hove are a Labour constituency, Brighton and Hove are being deliberately underfunded. So this is through no fault of their own, but because they're being underfunded, there are problems with public sanitation accumulating. So in order for us to have stuff cleared out and to get everything sorted out, I have to chase it up with my landlord, and the landlord has to chase it up with the council. But it's like it's not their fault. But my thing is this: I'm a single woman. I'm not married. I don't have children. And yet I'm the one thinking about public sanitation that could affect not only me, but other families around this estate. I'm the one thinking about it. I'm the one clearing up literal dog shit from the stairs, even though I live on my own and I am not the one who have guests coming in and out of here. My neighbors are the ones who have guests coming in and out of here. I'm the one thinking of public sanitation. I'm the one thinking of repairs that need to be done. I'm the one who's thinking of places that need to be cleaned or what have you. I'm the one doing it. I'm the one thinking of these things, thinking of important things that need to be done for everybody's safety. And yet all anybody can think about is upsetting me. That's their priority. I'm over here trying to make sure that I can monetize my hobby so that I can get off benefits. Whereas these people are literally doing everything that they can to make sure I can't do that. So they're contributing to a bloated benefit system. This is what gang stalking does. Gang stalking contributes to a bloated benefit system. It contributes to widespread community problems like sanitation problems, It contributes to violence. It contributes to all kinds of hate crimes. We are seeing in action how much gang stalking degrades quality of life for everyone, and yet people ain't twigged yet. How is it that you have so much energy to upset me, and yet you don't have, you know, enough energy for basic hygiene of your community? I think a lot of TIs can relate. A lot of TIs can find dirt left everywhere, trash left everywhere, anywhere where we walk, anywhere where we like frequent. There's going to be a lack of hygiene standards simply for the purpose of harassing us. Are you kidding me? And then on top of that, wherever targeted individuals are moved into, there are a whole gaggle of mentally ill people moved into the same place. And a lot of them don't get the treatment that they're supposed to get. Either they're overly drugged or they are left to their own devices to be as violent and as deranged as they want to be, simply for the purpose of getting to one person who is supposed to be on their caseload. So we can see in real action how much gang stalking is actively degrading the community. So these cunts come up to like people in my neighborhood and they say, well, we want you to stalk this person because we're helping the community. Helping the community how? Do you know how many families have had stalking me and they've literally had to dedicate their entire time to monitoring how the torture is affecting me? Letting their public hygiene standard, public sanitation standards go, even letting their hygiene go, letting their familial relationships and their friendships fall by the wayside, degrading the community, degrading their own community as well as mine. The amount of people that have been actually actively coming after me, and you are literally degrading your own community every single time you come after me, and yet you still do it. You still ain't connected the dots yet. All you heard was protecting the country and you might get some coupons out of it. And that's all you heard. And you didn't think about the wider implications of what you're doing. How the hell are you this focused on getting hatred out of somebody and not in taking care of your community, which, given the cost of living, is going to be more important than ever? In fact, the cost of living crisis is almost directly due to gang stalking anyway. So everything that you've done has contributed to the worsening of the situation that we're in right now, and it's going to get worse. Real estate problems. When you displace TIs, what do you think happens to real estate? When you mob TIs out of social housing and then they have to go into private housing, the rent skyrockets, therefore the benefit system gets more expensive. What do you think the result of that is? So actively, gang stalking is making communities worse, and it has been making communities worse. Don't even get me started on this fucking on how the psychiatric system is abused and how it actually interferes with people who are truly ill getting help. So while we're over here being accused of being paranoid schizophrenic in order to cover up for defense systems that are actively corroding public services, to cover up for pharmaceutical companies actively eroding public services and leaving people to starve to death, freeze to death, diseases probably ain't far behind, because remember, Labour, any constituencies with a Labour vote are having their funding reallocated towards Tory constituencies. So all of that, we have to remember, all of that is happening. So public sanitation ain't going to be far behind. We've already got a cost of living crisis. We're already in a position where violence is on the increase, domestic abuse is on the increase. And the way mental health has been used, like I said before, it denies people who truly need help. What is the result of that? More violence and more homelessness. So all of this, everything that's happening with the gang stalking, trying to drive us crazy, so that we can be moved from place to place. Our social houses is dwindling. The benefit system is actually inflating. It's inflating because of the privatization of real estate, the increased privatization of real estate for people who are supposed to be vulnerable. And continuously displacing TIs is a part of that. And if benefits are getting more expensive, that means the government have to cut costs. Where do you think they're going to start? They've got to think about profits, right? They've got to think about profits. And I think I completely lost my point because I think I was talking about psychiatric, how the psychiatric profession is used. How many beds do you reckon are taken up with targeted individuals that actually have a case and have had a case for years? Meanwhile, people who are genuinely sick and people who genuinely need the medication can't get it. There was a place where I was supposed to be sectioned to. That same hospital had somebody who was suicidal, released them the next day, and that person killed themselves. So the people who truly need help, truly need treatment, they're not getting it. Meanwhile, you're over here trying to drive TIs crazy and make sure we get the bed that somebody else should be getting, that we get the benefits that somebody else should be getting. You don't want to diagnose us properly. So what ends up happening is that we're medium functioning at best. We don't have the functioning to be able to properly get a job and to properly work because you don't want to diagnose us properly, because that would interfere with defense systems profits and with pharmaceutical companies' profits, and that would interfere with government spying. And let's be real, government eugenics. So everything that you're doing as a gang stalker, I've said it before. I said it before when I was sick. I was really sick when I said it. So nobody took me seriously. But over the course of almost 10 years, what's happened? What's happened? And don't even get me started on immigration. The amount of immigrants that were a part of this gang stalking shit. Now look what's happened to immigration. Now immigrants as a whole are being demonized because of what immigrant gang stalkers have been getting up to. I mean, if you consider getting me upset a victory, hey, I mean, you've got all kinds of mentally ill people not getting treatment, not getting the proper treatment they deserve. The benefit system is bloated because of increased privatization of social housing, which is facilitated by TIs being displaced from place to place. Public sanitation isn't being taken care of. There's more emphasis on upsetting me than clearing up after yourselves or ensuring that your family has a hygienic place to live in. Like, there's more emphasis on lies and setups and doing all kinds of nonsense rather than actually taking care of your community. I think the people who join gang stalking know full well that the community isn't the reason they're doing this. Maybe they're told that. Maybe they're told the reason that they're coming after me as a TI is for their community. But I think a good chunk of gang stalkers know they're not doing it for community. They're doing it for their own egos. If gang stalking truly helped the communities that the TIs were being gang stalked in, they would have done, but it hasn't helped. It's helped richer people find cheaper housing, that's for sure. That's for damn sure. But it hasn't helped anything. It doesn't help anything. The people are trying to come after me when all I've ever wanted to do was to just make everything better. I've only ever wanted to be of service. But never underestimate the power of somebody's hatred and somebody's greed and somebody's fear. It makes them do dumb ass shit. But anyway, I have to go. Or do I? I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything now, but yeah, I'm actively trying to make the community better. Like I've been wanting to do my whole life. And singing included. Singing when my range was full, when I had that full like high frequency range, the amount of joy I could have brought to people's lives with that. Because you know your talent isn't just for you, it's for other people as well. But nah. Hatred's got to come first. So now everybody's got to suffer. But as I say that, but I know that the only people who care are TIs. The people that I know the only people that will care about anything that I'm saying are TIs. The rest of them don't care. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit that they're actively making the world worse and their communities worse. They don't give a shit. They are insecure, greedy, and fearful, and they need somebody to take their shit out on. So, fuck the world. There is another type of being on this planet that behaves the exact same way as gangstalkers behave. I think that's called a virus. But I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Anyway, now I gotta go. I haven't decided whether or not I'm gonna do Saturday's readings yet. I might just do them early. I'm not sure. But yeah. Black gang stalkers made their communities worse, made their communities suffer more. Immigrant gang stalkers made immigrant communities suffer more. Brown communities made brown gang stalkers made brown communities suffer more. Poor white gang stalkers made poor white people suffer more. Like, that's all that needs to be fucking said. If upsetting me is worth it, if doing this whole gang stalking shit is worth it, then by all means continue. I'm sure you're going to love the legacy that you've left behind when your kids have kids. But anyway, I gotta go. I love you, my fellow TIs. Let me know how you guys are doing in the comments. As again, I always want to hear from you guys. I always want to hear how you're doing. I've got to do something about this salt thing going on. I'm graying. I can't believe it. Actually, I've been graying since my late 20s, but it's only now that it's kind of a bit more obvious. But yeah. Anyway, let me know how you guys are doing, my fellow TIs, and I will see you at another time. Take care. Bye-bye.